Maya walks into the glass building with Lila, asleep against her chest. Her coat is thin, her bag overburdened. Lila's small face is hot and sleepy. A stuffed rabbit peeks from the backpack. Maya whisper we can do this. Just for a little while. At the espresso bar, Marco blinks when he sees them. Marco, Maya? You're bringing her in? Maya quiet, no one to watch her. Fever spiked. I can't miss the client pitch. I'll be quick. He offers sympathy and worry. The lobby's hum swallows the rest. Maya sets Lila on a beanbag near her desk. The office gleams with minimalism and expectation. Ethan Rivers, the CEO, appears at his glass office. He notices the child, the fever, and moves with the awkward tenderness of someone rarely required to care. Ethan soft, is she all right? Maya force smile, a fever. Short stay. I'm presenting soon. He comes out into the common area. Employees glance. He kneels to Lila as if manners were second nature. Ethan, hi. What's your name? Lila. Ethan, are you comfortable? He reaches to fix the rabbit's ear. His fingers pause like someone who recognizes a detail that belongs to the past. Lila looks at him and, in the candid economy of children, reaches out. Lila, daddy. Noise collapses into silence. Ethan's breath catches in a way that exposes an old fault line. Maya's face goes still. Around them, the office shifts back into polite business. Maya, hurried, she jars names when her head aches. Sorry, we shouldn't have. Ethan, steady, what's your last name? Maya Ortiz. Maya Ortiz. Silence. Memory surfaces in Ethan's eyes. A younger man, a night that rearranged futures, a small rabbit handed off with a promise. The room waits. Sarah from HR approaches, balancing policy and compassion. Sarah, we do have a guest policy about illness. We can get her home. Maya, I can't. If I miss this meeting, I'm on thin ground. If you let me do the pitch while she rests for an hour, I'll leave after. Ethan looks at Lila like someone seeing a photograph of a life he almost lived. He paces the small moral math. Ethan, I will step into the call. You do the presentation. I'll watch her. Maya nods, relief threading her face. She goes into the conference room and delivers a sharp, honest pitch. Investors listen because she proves a case made of numbers and grit. Back in the common area, Ethan sits awkwardly with Lila. He reads from a children's book, voice tentative, then smoother. Lila's fever softens, and she sleeps with the rabbit tucked under her chin. Ethan holds the toy and remembers what he tried to forget. When Maya returns, she finds him waiting. He looks older than the business profile suggests, the kind of older that comes from private regret. Ethan, I remember that rabbit. I put it in a hospital once. Maya, I thought leaving was right then. I was wrong. Maya hears the apology, but anchors it against 10 years of single nights and small victories. Maya, you left. We kept going. We didn't ask for charity. We wanted to be accounted for, to be treated like adults trying to live. Ethan, I know. I can't reclaim lost time. I want to be here now, if you'll let me try. Maya's answer is precise, a manager's checklist applied to human terms. Maya, start with reliability. B, at appointments. Answer calls at night. Actions, not headlines. Ethan nods. He pays for the taxi and the medicine without fanfare. The gesture is practical, and Maya takes it because sometimes dignity and help intersect. Before dawn, Maya sits at the kitchen table with a stack of past due notices. A tiny lamp makes islands of paper, and the glow touches her face with a tired tenderness. Lila coughs in her room. Maya touches her forehead and feels hot skin and a pulse that translates into decisions. Maya into the dark, to herself, okay. One day, one pitch, one chance. Her mother calls, and Maya listens with half an ear as the lines of a family life are negotiated with finesse and irritation. There are offers of help, then logistical limits. Maya declines with a small professional insistence she has practiced for situations with no right answers. At a bus stop, she balances Lila on her hip and rehearses the opening of the presentation in a whisper. The city moves around them like a theater set. She thinks about the week she worked 4 overtime nights and still couldn't cover the copay. She thinks about nights when she swallowed hunger to buy cough syrup. The stakes are not abstract. They are a child's sleep and a landlord's patience. Years earlier, the memory lands like a photograph. She is younger, in a cramped apartment with a kitchen that smelled of cilantro and coffee. Ethan is younger too then, less certain of himself, full of plans and the kind of charm people mistake for stability. They share a night that is bright and private, and then a goodbye in the morning with promises that did not take root because both are terrified and proud in ways that make leaving easier than staying. She remembers the rabbit. He had handed it to her, embarrassed and sincere, and said something about a better life. It was the sort of gift that meant more after the fact than it did in the moment. Back in the present, Maya walks the corridor to the conference room. Her presentation is precise and urgent. Her voice steadies with data points and with the iron of necessity. Questions come sharp and clinical. She answers because she has had to teach complexity to herself early. Each sentence is a small triumph. In the lobby, Ethan reads until Lila's breath slows. His phone vibrates with bored messages he ignores. The CEO's rhythm is usually governed by calendars. A child changes that map. He finds a note in his pocket that reads a woman's name he hasn't said aloud in over a decade. He nearly leaves to find the office that matches memory, but he stays because of the way the rabbit's thread is frayed and because a child has placed a trust on his knee. After the pitch, investors applaud and shake hands. Maya steps out and finds Ethan waiting. The corridor between them feels public and private at once. People pass like tide markers. He waits without posture. He speaks as someone returning from exile. Ethan, there is an old photograph. You gave me a goodbye that I folded into a jacket pocket. I thought I was doing the right thing by leaving. I thought it would be easier for you both. I see now how wrong that was. Maya's defenses are engines. She runs through the list of everything she had to do without asking. She lists nights in emergency rooms, missed concerts, pizza boxes as a substitute celebratory cake. The list lands between them and the air thickens. Maya, you ask for proof. Start by being on time for her next appointment. Show up for the school play. Learn the name of her teacher. Be willing to be inconvenienced without announcement. Ethan, I will learn the small language of presence. There's a quiet bargain in the air. It's unromantic and real. It is the kind of contract that asks for time and consistent gestures rather than speeches. Over the following months, the story is a patchwork. Ethan arrives to a pediatric visit with flowers and an awkward apology. He misses a daytime meeting for a fever and sends a note that says simply, "I'm sorry, I'm learning." He and Maya argue about schedules, about who picks up from school, about the division of labor that intimacy tends to expose. Sometimes he oversteps and brings charity in the forms of checks and corporate help that Maya declines, for reasons both practical and prideful. Sometimes Maya is tempted to accept because exhaustion presses on her like weather. There are nights when Maya fears public humiliation, when she imagines office whispers about the CEO's sudden interest in a colleague's life. She returns to work with a new skin, one that bears the marks of insistence and survival. Ethan learns to be patient when she uses the word no. He learns the grammar of parenting with a teacher's humility and a CEO's rigor. One morning, Lila wakes with sunshine on her face and a cough, but a smile. Ethan is there with a thermos and the rabbit patched at the seam. Maya watches them and allows the shape of possibility, not yet healing, but present. She thinks of the list of numbers and dates that built the life she made. The ledger does not vanish. It is rearranged page by page. A montage. Ethan learning to read the brand of cough syrup. Ethan pacing with a child through a fever night. Ethan sitting in a tiny waiting room counting the minutes until the doctor returns. Ethan calling to check on Lila while on a business trip. Maya answering with a tone that softens with time. Each small action is an arithmetic of trust. They argue about who gets to take Lila to the dentist when the appointment collides with a board meeting. He picks Lila up, and she falls asleep on his shoulder in the back seat of an Uber. He texts a selfie of them with a thumbs up and a caption that reads apologies for missing the call. Her reply is a single emoji and the words noted. He learns the economy of small accountability. One rainy evening, they sit at Maya's table with lukewarm tea. Lila sleeps upstairs with her rabbit. Between them, the silence is a new terrain. Ethan, I won't make promises I can't keep. I will try to be present. Maya, then prove it in the small things. They add up. From upstairs, Lila's voice floats down. Lila, Daddy, can you read one more story? Ethan laughs, then rises with a careful joy. He takes the rabbit and climbs the stairs. Maya watches him go and thinks of all the ways adults can learn. She believes, not completely, but enough to set the table for another day. Back in the company, there are whispers. Some colleagues say he is distracted. Others say he is kinder for it. A headline appears, and then another. The press tries to turn intimacy into narrative, but inside the small house, the work remains mundane and stubbornly private. Months later, Ethan stands at a school play, awkward in a cardigan while other parents wear polished shoes. Lila points at him like a compass setting. He waves and then wipes a hand across his face as if to steady himself. Maya watches from the second row with her arms folded, the posture of someone carefully cataloging evidence. It is not that everything heals. Missed anniversaries and lunches cannot be unmade. There are apologies and awkwardness and moments when the past sharpens into grief. But there are also incremental changes. A calendar shared and honored, medicines bought without announcement, a door held open so a small person can hurry into safety. The end is ordinary. They sit at a small kitchen table with 2 mugs and 1 child's cup. Lila sleeps upstairs with the rabbit between her arms. Outside, the city spins, indifferent and alive. Ethan, quiet, tell me one thing you need from me that I haven't thought of. Maya, after a pause, keeps small promises. When you say you'll be there, be there. Do not make presence conditional. He nods, humbled by the clarity. Ethan, I will. From upstairs, Lila's small voice floats down. Lila, Daddy, can you read one more story? Ethan laughs, and it is a laugh that is real and a little stunned. He rises with a careful joy. He climbs the stairs slowly, as someone learning to carry the responsibility of another life. Maya watches him go and allows herself a breath that tastes like relief and wariness at once. The end is not tidy. There is no neat reconciliation and no sudden flourishing. Instead, there is the slow, patient work of being present. Forgiveness is not a single act. It is the sum of small, repeated gestures. The script closes on their silhouettes through the kitchen window, imperfect, awake, and trying.